Almost a fifth of the NRL is in the casualty ward. One coach has the vultures circling. One immortal is ready to step in.
The chaotic world of rugby league is what we're grappling with today on The Grapple.
Johnny, matey!
What?
You need to lift!
Huh?
You're not working hard enough!
Stop cuddling me.
You need to do better!
You need to cuddle me.
No!
I need the soft touch.
Get out there and work harder!
I only perform when spoken to nicely.
I can't speak nicely, I'm too angry!
You would have received a few halftime sprays in your day, JM?
Yeah, absolutely. I've probably given a few.
Teammates or to your coach?
Well, it's funny. I can remember one game. It was a reserve grade game, and we're playing at the old Sydney Showground against Canterbury. And Canterbury rolled out this reserve grade team. I'm talking Corey Hughes, Rod Silver, Dave Thompson.
Look at Rod Silver.
Yeah. This Canterbury reserve grade team, it's like 01 or 02.
Yeah.
We were looking at the team list going, holy shit, like, this is a good team.
We're in a twilight zone?
And they had a ripping first grade team as well. Anyway, we're coming in at half time, 18-0 down. But it was one of those games where everyone felt good. As we're walking off the field, we're like, we got these guys.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling. You're down 18-0. You think, we got these guys. So we were coming to the dressing room, and the coach, he's got steam coming out of his ears, and he's pacing up around. And we're just all having a drink of Powerade with him. Yeah, we got these guys. And he just fucking unloaded on us.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm talking red face unloaded. And I was captain of reserve grade at that point. So I've just got up, like, mid-spray, and just got, hey, we got this. And he's like, what do you fucking mean? I was like, hey. And I turned around and said, boys, we got this, right? And everyone's going, we're gold. 36-18 we won.
You won the game.
We came out and just tore this team to pieces. I don't know how it happened. Brenton Bowen was Matty Bowen's cousin.
Yeah.
He scored tries. Bruce Mamando, the Papua New Guinean representative, former Canberra guy, the bloke who shaved Super League into his head.
Yes, of course.
He was playing front row, and his kickoff returns, when we're in the video session the next week, everyone was making the Bobby Boucher noise.
Yeah.
As soon as we watch a kickoff return, everyone starts making those noises because he was scattering them like 10 pins. Anyway, it was a huge spray that was not required, but we had to tell him, hey, it's cool. It wasn't required.
It paid dividends. You scored 6 unanswered tries to come home.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things we're going to talk about among many topics. You are ready to tee off today. You've got some data. You've crunched some numbers.
And I've actually got a, it's not leaked, but I've got a text message that comes from the top. I'm not going to tell you who it went to, but it's a genuine Andrew Abdo text message that I'm going to read from, and I really dislike the tone of it, to be honest.
Okay.
It's a celebratory text message, and I want to delve into that because I think he's kind of missing the point, in my opinion.
Celebrating for the wrong reasons, perhaps.
He's celebrating metrics that I don't think should be celebrated.
Okay.
But I'm a fucking idiot. So who cares what I say?
I don't think you're an
I'm
idiot.
just going to, thank you, man.
I do want to point out that you're wearing a brand new Guernsey this
Check it
week.
out.
Shout outs.
All right, this is a shout out to the American Rugby League, USA Rugby League. This is, I stood up and then check it out.
It's got Manning on the back. There you go.
This is from my man over there in California, 80 Cooney. Shout out, 80. He's been on the show. President of Pacific Coast Rugby League, coach of the LA Mongrel. This is the Masters jersey that was played Vegas weekend when the Canada, Australia, and USA Masters teams played against each other.
Yep.
I was named to play in the US Masters, and not the golf tournament that's on this weekend.
Not at Augusta, all right?
No.
Okay.
But the US Masters team.
You could play in Augusta if the opportunity came up.
Of course I could.
Yeah.
Those
Especially
bums.
the 16th.
Yeah,
Easy.
exactly. But 80's kept my jersey. I wasn't able to play. He said, no, I've got it for you. Send it to me. 80, love you, brother.
Yeah, our maiden guest on this podcast.
He was.
So
yeah.
Big shout outs. Now, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into it. I just want to start with a little bit of an announcement, Johnny.
Please.
Because,
and you're wearing a beautiful Queensland
thank you.
Maroons
Yes,
jersey,
I am.
Interesting.
Look, 2020, 2021, that sort
Doesn't
of era.
matter. They're all magnificent.
No, it's magnificent era.
Spectacular.
Let's not forget 2020 when the Wayne Bennett.
Worst ever. Worse than
Terrible
Fatty's
team.
Neville's, apparently.
Absolute shithouse Maroons
Terrible.
team. Can't do anything. Worse, if anything, the 95 team versus them would be the worst game of football you'd ever see. Cause
Allegedly.
Absolute nobodies.
Both teams just go and win the series.
They
No
won
big
the,
deal.
yeah, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
We always listen to the noise coming out of The critics. Anyway, Johnny, ABC Radio, we do a little bit of work there.
We do.
And this coming weekend, there'll be a new show happening
What's it
on Saturday.
called, Joel?
It's called the Saturday Draft, and it's hosted by two absolute hypocritical dickheads
The both of them.
who have somehow been given the keys to an hour of radio content.
That goes across Queensland. And if you're not in Queensland, get on the ABC Listen app. And you can listen to it any time pretty much. But 11 a.m. this Saturday. Can you believe they gave it to us?
Anytime, any place.
Anytime, any place.
There's a good reason to talk about that Maroons era, actually,
Yes.
because 95, the hero of 94, and one of the heroes of 95, Mark Coyne, is our maiden guest. And I reckon the amount of joy I got out of talking with Mark Coyne,
It's unreal.
I think he's destined for the grapple.
As I said to him, that game was 30 years ago this year. I reckon I've been waiting that long since that 94 try to actually interview him about it. It was fantastic.
So Mark, what was it like?
Yeah. Do you remember that try he scored in 94? What was that like? Was that fun? Was that good?
Have you ever heard that try played back to you, Mark?
Did you know that you also played in the 3-0 95 series the next year? What was that fun? What was that like?
Hey, Mark, did you know that you played in 3 grand finals for St George as well?
Was that fun? No. I lost all 3 of them.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated every second of those.
Thanks for reminding me, assholes.
And you know what I love though? Those padded lycra shorts that we wore in that era.
92.
The Dragons boys. Yeah.
At the Adelaide Oval.
All of them.
Of all places. The entire team runs out. What were they called?
Oh, don't. You
Come on.
can't do that to me.
Rugby League trivia. What were they called?
What were the pants called?
The brand. What were they called?
Oh, I got nothing on the brand. I know they wore a Penfolds jersey, but
Torpedoes.
Torpedoes. There you go. Good. Well done. That's a very impressive deep dive right there. I just remember old Chook Heron taking those kicks.
The Penguin, Graham Bradley.
Yeah, and,
Might have been
Graham
93.
Kine.
I'm thinking it's 93. They did it.
It was stylish.
Yeah.
It was really, really stylish.
Yeah.
We're all about style. You're bringing plenty to the table. I'm bringing a new toy to the table today. This is our new tipping oracle. This is my master Yoda because terrible we are.
Do we need to quickly look at the tips we did last week?
I'd love to have a quick squiz, yeah.
Okay, so the game 1 was Melbourne Broncos. You went...
You
went
look
with the
all right. I went with the Broncos.
Any good with the Broncos?
No good that night. No
No.
good. Look, what a contest.
Yeah.
It was a seesawing affair. I don't mean to be a sporting cliche machine, but it was a twisty, turny, seesawing. Brisbane thought they had it. Melbourne had other ideas.
I got a different take on that game.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 tries from kicks.
Oh, a lot of kicks. Yeah, Brisbane.
And I think Brisbane in the last 2 games scored 6 tries from kicks.
Yeah.
Is that what we want?
They have been scoring a lot of tries from kicks.
I don't mind it, but what the fuck is a kick disruptor? A disruptor? This new fucking rule? Unnecessary kick pressure? What's unnecessary kick pressure? What is that?
See,
don't get me started.
I struggle with this because as long as the Broncos are scoring tries, I'm usually pretty happy.
But it was 32-34. It was a National Youth Cup game. Missed tackles everywhere. There was a million line breaks. Is that the rugby league? Is that what we want?
No,
if it's
but
what
I
we want,
just-
I'll shut up. Okay?
No,
if it's what we want, I'll shut up.
I liked the tussle, as I say, seesawing end to end. Yes, a lot of kicks. Yes, a lot of points, but it was just one of those games. Jesse Arthur's dropping that ball late was heartbreaking, but it was one of those games. But out of that, Adam Reynolds goes down yet again.
Yeah.
He's done. He's cooked.
He's not cooked.
He's not cooked. He'll be back, but he's cooked. I'm saying he's cooked. Bulldogs upsetting the Roosters. I definitely didn't get that one.
No, I didn't get that one either. It was like 26-0 at half time.
Yeah, epic.
Dom Young's, but I mean, look at that. Teddy puts his head in the wrong spot, gets steamrolled by a kick out, gone. Sam Walker gets an accidental knee in the head, gone. Blake Taft, accidental swinging arm from Dom Young, gone. Someone else was gone.
Yep.
Both teams had to activate their 18th man, Michael Jennings.
Well,
Yep.
that's another story from the week. Yeah.
Then we're not going to. He's allowed to play, but we're not going to celebrate his 300th game. Michael, we're going to let you play, but we're not going to celebrate your 300th. Okay? Am I taking crazy pills? He's not going to get a ball.
He doesn't get the 300
no,
ball.
we won't give him one, but he's allowed to play.
It was a confusing message from the brass on that one because I very much think if you don't want to give the accolade, why are they playing? Honestly, if you don't want to give that little bit of acknowledgement,
If he's done a couple of years, isn't he? Okay, he's done his time, right? He made a mistake. He's done his time. Are we not?
has the NRL not always been a place where redemption is possible?
I believe
Achievable.
so. If he wins a premiership, are they not going to give him a ring?
Probably not. Well, but based on this, they can't. You can't, can you?
Well, yeah,
that's a
shake
backflip.
hands. Sorry, you don't get a ring.
Yeah, that'd be awkward.
Anyway.
Not allowed to touch the trophy either.
No.
If we dust that trophy
For your
and
prints.
find your prints on it, and they match the prints that were
You
taken.
can't be in any photographs with the trophy.
Nothing.
Anyway.
Okay, the Knights. Yep, had that
I got
one.
the Knights.
Had the Warriors.
Had the Wars.
Didn't have Manly.
Did not have Manly.
Daly Cherry Evans. Speaking about tries from kicks,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I don't mind a try from a kick.
And Penrith also scored a try off a Daly Cherry and kick as well.
They did too. So Daly's setting him up left, right, and centre. Dolphins too strong for the Tigers.
Yeah, but that was actually, the Tigers weren't terrible.
They were good.
Early on, I thought, okay, here we go. Same old Tigers. Same old Tigers. And they're going to get blown out by 40. They didn't. They came back and they made a game of it.
Once again, those young halves.
Stefano
Caesar, though.
Oitukamano,
Yeah.
probably my favourite name to say at the moment.
That's a good topic.
Stefano Oitukamano.
Oitukamano. What is
that
your
name.
favourite name? Yours is Oitukamano.
Favourite name to say?
Fa'asu amali awi.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'd love saying that name.
Dallin Watney Zalesniak or
Zalesniak.
Watini Zalesniak. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's a
You
very
know what my
good one.
favourite is at the moment?
Go on.
Bailey Biondiodo.
Beyondiodo.
It's my favourite name to say.
Ripper. Yeah, yeah. I used to love Nadruku back in the day.
Nandruku.
Nandruku.
The N sound from a non-existent N.
Yeah, I've just fallen
Like
into it right then.
Nandi, N-A-D-I,
Nandruku,
isn't
you- yeah.
Nandruku.
I liked some of the boys, some of the Pacific Island boys are going with their names now.
Great
Tapau. I like
I love
getting
that.
behind Big Marty.
Let's get it, like-
Absolutely.
Let's pronounce them properly.
Yep.
Yep.
Swali.
Swali.
When he first came in,
Swali.
swallowed out.
Swali'i.
Yep.
Papa
very good.
Li'i.
Love Papa Li'i.
Love Papa Li'i.
Big Papa.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. We both had the Cowboys.
Yep, that was good.
And we both had the Raiders. And
Didn't have the Eels, and I'm glad of that.
Yeah, man, the Eels stunk to high heaven.
And neither of us had the Sharks, so that shows what we know about tipping because they had the bye. So there you
Yeah,
go.
they got it.
Johnny, let's tee off. So you've got a bit to say.
Do you want me to go there now?
I'm
happy
gonna say
to.
yes. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, let's go there now. All right, I'm going to read a text message.
Hang on. To fire you up,
Yeah.
I'm going to kick one to you, and you have to score off it just to get you in the mood. There you go. Try off a kick.
Control.
That's got you upset.
Okay,
Now go.
so what's got me upset? Okay, I want to take a walk down injury lane.
Okay.
I'm going to. How am I going to do this? 18% of the current NRL top 30 players are unavailable this week due to injury or suspension.
That's 92 players.
92 out of 50, out of 500 and 510.
Yep.
Now that may have changed in the last 24 hours because Flegler is now out as well. So it's a small percentage change, but Flegler is gone for the Dolphins. I'm going to read a text message that went out from Andrew Abdo. I'm not going to tell you who it went to because it probably give away who it came from, but it's gone out to people of position in football clubs, in rugby league clubs.
Yeah.
It's talking about setting new benchmark performances, and they're saying, off-field health indicators, viewership, membership, match attendance, digital engagement have surged, right? And this came out just over a week ago, so it's the first 4 rounds. It says football metrics, and I'm going to read this verbatim.
Okay.
Data from the first 4 rounds of the competition shows the game is faster than it was a year ago. More football for fans. More attacking football with an increase in both line breaks and play the ball speeds compared with last year. More football for fans. There has been an average of 6 more play the balls per game compared to the same time in 2023. More continuous football. Play the balls are faster this season. More exciting football. There are more line breaks compared to the same time in 2023. And 2 minutes less elapsed time. Okay. Then it goes on to participation. I'll talk about that in a minute. Spruiking that the game is faster and there is more time with the ball in play and more play the balls per game.
More football. More football for fans. I have 3 words.
Yeah.
At what cost?
Well, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna read you out a team of current players, and I think this is a really strong team. Okay, you with me?
I love the team.
Okay, this team is fullbacks Tedesco.
Yep.
On the wings, I've got Philip Sami and Corey Allen. In the centres, I've got Campbell Graham and Latrell Mitchell. In the 6, I've got Adam Reynolds. Bear with me. 7's Nathan Cleary. The front row, I've got Payne Haas and Tino for Sulawai. I've got Dylan Walker at 9. He's played a bit of 9.
Yep.
The back row, I've got Felice Kafusi, Tom Gilbert, and Corey Horsburgh.
Okay.
On the bench, Cohen Hess, Tyson Frizzell, Mitchell Moses, Jai Arrow, and now I have
A team for them to oppose.
now I have Tom Flagler as 18th man.
18th man. Okay, cool.
All right. Now, that's one team. All of those players have played State of Origin.
That's a good team.
They're
It's a
all
very
unavailable
good
through
team.
injury or suspension this weekend.
Yep.
All of those guys. You look at that talent of that team I just named, right? Teddy, Latrell, Campbell Graham, Reynolds, Cleary, Haas, Tino, Gilbert, Hess, Frizzell, Moses, Flegg. All right? That's one team. I'm going to name another team now. And I think this is a pretty good team too. Jordan Ruppiner, Dom Young, Herbie Farnworth, Dullen, Watini Zelezniak,
Yep.
Alex Johnson, Jerome Luai, Kieran Foran, Bunty Afoa. I've got Scott Sorensen, not Kurt Sorensen. Scott Sorensen in the 9. In the 10, I've got Spencer Lenu. The second rowers, I've got Corey Hararuia Anaira, which is another great name. And I've got Elliot Whitehead. And then at 13, I've got John Bateman. On the bench, I've got Ryan Sutton, Connolly Lemuelu,
Great name.
Brennan Piacora, and
Great
Royce
name.
Hunt.
Okay.
All of those players unavailable through injury or suspension this week, and that is a team of all players who have represented other countries. They are all internationals. So I've just read out 35 players of either State of Origin or international caliber that are not available. And I think out of that, I think only 2 of them are suspension.
That is absolutely absurd. Let's run through club for club quickly, and I'll open with the Broncos because I often tend to. Reynolds, as you mentioned, Piacora, Mariner, Haas, Willison, Raiders, Albert Hopewadi,
We're going to. This is 92 names you're going to read out. We can't sit here and read out.
I'm not going to
these.
read them all. I just want to go through a few because it's insane. It's actually insane.
The Dogs have something like 12 top-line players unavailable.
If you just go through this list and just read the top line names in it,
It's unbelievable.
it's ridiculous. And your two teams expand. It's almost a rugby union game.
And I almost had an entire Sharks forward pack out, but Rudolph and Hamlin Ueli have been named in the extended bench for the Sharks. The Sharks last week had Finucane, Nickera, Hamlin Ueli, Rudolph, Royce Hunt. That is a starting forward pack of the NRL unavailable. Granted, Nickera was suspended. But we are very suspension happy right now as well. That's part of my
big
argument.
time. Yeah. Look at some of the extended list and teams that are struggling. We'll get onto one of these a bit later on as far as a coach with the Vultures circling, but the Rabbitohs. Munro, Mitchell, Johnston, Graham, Arrow, Ilias, Kenner. These are big gaping holes in game day. So even the Tigers, we're saying the Tigers they're doing well. They're playing good Benji ball.
No Dewey, no Bateman, no Simpkin, no Fainu.
This is crazy. But you know what? More football for fans. For sure.
It doesn't matter. Faster
better.
game, more play the balls.
Who are you watching play, though?
Like, it's doing my head in. Now, they run out these metrics, and I think I teed off on this last week. They run out these metrics around the 3% of HIAs are from kickoff, so maybe we're looking at banning. Now,
We'll get rid of the kickoff.
Now, they're not looking at banning the kickoff yet. This is just media buzz, right? But I need to weigh into it because it's a conversation. I didn't like doing it.
Yeah.
I had to do it a heap of times. I wasn't one of the guys who liked doing it, but there were guys who loved doing it. Exactly. Bruce Mamando lived for it.
Yeah.
I played with front rowers who lived for that. Absolutely lived for it. If I was a back rower and I was on the sideline of the field, I caught the ball, that's fine. But it takes a special kind of human to sit on that back fence, look at 13 blokes running at them full speed and go,
Here I go.
let's fucking go.
It's my time
That
to
is a
shine.
special kind of person. And now what are we going to do? We're going to start with a tap-off. When I go to see State of Origin, the first tackle, it's the first set of 6, but I look at the first tackle, and I can almost tell
The intent.
every time whether we're on or they're on.
Yep.
And that's State of Origin. Okay, first set of 6, yeah, definitely. But sometimes you'd see Matty Scott come off that back fence and just bang into that blue line, and I'm like, we are on.
I remember you and I calling a bit of an Origin game last year.
Yeah.
Without any Maroons bias whatsoever.
No.
I promise I wasn't wearing this jersey. I promise. And we go, look at them. They're on here. They're on here. They're on here. Look at the intent. But it was that, wasn't it? It was that tone-setting moment where if you hit that line and you go back 2 or 3 meters, we're going, ooh, shit. If you go forward even half a meter, we're going, Here we go.
Even if you just win that contest, that
Yep.
first contest.
Yep.
Now, I guess my flow on it from that is how many HIAs, how many injuries are happening because of the 6 again, because of a 7 tackle set, because of the ball being in play for much longer, but because of there being 6 more play the balls per game.
Yeah. 7 tackle sets for you.
Ugh.
They're up there with tries off kicks.
Look, I don't mind tries off kicks. They're fine. But when every try is coming off a kick because the kicker is sitting there because a defender will rush him and then have to stop, he's got a circle of defenders around him letting him kick it, and someone going up to challenge the ball has just got a circle of defenders there waiting for him to come down. What are we doing?
You know what we're seeing more of?
What?
7 tackle sets. So back to that. The set restart, the fatigue factor. We love talking about the players, being so tough and going so hard, and sometimes, injuries happen and all that. But you have created a system, NRL, where you are creating this. You are pushing them beyond the limits, and these limits of endurance are pretty bloody impressive.
It is a high-speed collision sport. That it is not. See, AFL is much more aerobic than rugby league. They are running the entire
they're
time.
marathon runners.
But
yeah.
they're also probably 20 to 30 kilos lighter on average, maybe 20, not 30. But you can't have these guys running the whole time. Reynolds is an older player. I get it, doing his hamstring. Cleary's doing his hamstring. Someone else is doing a groin. Someone else is doing a hamstring.
Cleary isn't an older player, though.
No, he's not. He's
Cleary's fit
26th
as a
year.
fiddle.
Then you've got guys with reduced reaction time. The game is so fast, and we expect these players to react so quickly. If a hand brushes a face, it's a penalty. Happens again, you're in the bin for 10. If the arm bounces up off a ball, you're gone. If someone falls to the ground, it's in a tackle, it's a hip drop. We're asking too much of the players. So the next person who says Zach Lomax is a dick for wanting to get money, $800,000, shut up.
Well, especially now when you are literally looking at something, you've only got 10 or 15 years of football now.
10?
Realistically, you're going 7, 8?
This is not rugby league specific, but do you know how long the average life of a professional athlete in Australia is?
Extremely short.
It's less than 3 years.
Yeah.
So an old stat from the NFL was it was 45 games.
The average NRL is
probably got to be close to that.
Really low as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it truly is. So I just think the metrics, that what you read out, the text message, and good on you for Johnny on the ground, Johnny on the spot.
Well,
getting the info,
I also want to say that that text message has a stack of numbers in it. The next bit is participation. I'll get to. Attendance, great. Attendance is great. Viewership is great. The most watched regular season game in recent memory or in history was that Manly, the Roosters-Broncos game in Vegas.
Yeah, of course it was.
That's awesome. This is all great. The NRL are wonderful marketers. They're fucking shit administrators.
Yeah, but I'm saying, back to those numbers, like the differences they're highlighting, the improvements they're highlighting, they're not that significant. They're not massive.
Well, they are when you think about the scale. I feel like when you think of scale, they're pretty good, right? They've said participation, registrations are up 7% year on year. I reckon that's a lie. Either that's a lie or it's a manufactured number because of the amount of females who are registering, which is fine. Huge increase in female registration. There is no way
great. Sure.
that's up. I mean, because I'm seeing teams in the regions that can't field a team. Granted, there are some that have too many players.
Mate, I see teams in the NRL that are struggling. I'm sorry, but I'm sticking to this. Like,
I got to
6 play the balls more for 92 players out of the game in round 6. Fuck that.
Sorry, I agree with you. I thought you were talking about the attendance and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the improvements are
are
absolute shit.
It's awful. Honestly,
wonderful marketers, shit administrators, and we are getting to a point where NRL is going to be its own sport, different to rugby league. Rugby league is not what we're seeing. And it's not the path that this game that is NRL is moving on. It's different to rugby league. And that's okay, but we just need to be honest about it and say, okay, this isn't rugby league anymore.
Yeah. How long until we see a player union, some sort of action? How long until we see some dispute?
As long as the money starts keeps flowing in, they're going to be fine on that front. But I mean, I got a message from a club administrator, an NRL team administrator saying, It's round 6, and we're struggling to name 22 NRL standard players.
In round 6?
In round 6, because they have to name 22 on a Tuesday. And that's what he said to me. It's been a battle to actually get 22 players of NRL standard, and it's only round 6.
So every year we see a protracted negotiation when it comes to bargaining, when we come to the Players' Union, when it comes to the NRL, the Players' Association, I should say. What does that look like, this year's version of that, if they go in with 300 players having been sidelined by season's end, 3/4 of the way through the season?
I don't know. I mean,
that's where it's tracking.
But I mean, the CBA... That whole conversation was last year, right? That CBA will probably run for another 5 years. It'll coincide with the broadcast agreement coming up, right? Or if it doesn't, it fucking well should.
It should.
Exactly.
It
right?
should. It'll come up.
I just think I think there is a point. There's going to be a tipping point at some point. I'm just looking at these names again. Tedesco, Latrell, suspension. Campbell Graham, Australian representative.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds, Nathan Cleary, Payne Haas, Tino, Felice Kafusi, Tom Gilbert, Tom Flegler, Mitchell Moses. Like, these are the best players in our game.
Moses couldn't make your starting injured side. That's how quality this injury. He couldn't get the 7 or the 6.
Herbie Farnworth's been one of the best centres in the last 2 years. Alex Johnson's on the cusp of breaking the all-time try-scoring record. Jerome Luai has won 3 straight premierships. Johnny Bateman and Elliot Whitehead are 2 of our, and Ryan Sutton.
Yep.
Some of our great English imports.
And tough. All of the players you've named then are very, very tough.
Jordan
individuals.
Rapiner was, apparently he was dead on the sideline and the Raiders rolled him back out, said he was okay.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Nothing to see here.
He's a tough bugger. But anyway, Dallin Watini-Zelezniak has just had a new lease of life at the Warriors, scoring freakish Xavier Coates' tries.
Yep.
None of these guys are on the field.
Yep. I don't like it. Attendance, it's always going to be a game that attracts crowds because of the product that we've got. Why do we need to keep compressing that product?
The game was fast enough.
Yep.
It was. It doesn't need to be faster. I was talking to a guy on the way here, a rugby league, tragic, a rusted on league fan, and he said to me, every time I go to a game now, at any break in play, I can't have a chat with who's beside me because they're blaring music at me. They don't like dead air at a footy game.
Oh, no.
There's no dead air at a rugby league game because now the ball is in play for an average 6 ball tackles per game, but any break they do have, it's not a kick for touch anymore.
No, it's not.
It's a tap. You know what I mean? It's a 6 again. There's no scrums. Oh, you got to play the ball here.
It's that American model, but the difference is, and I'm not taking anything away from NBA and the NFL, they're incredible. They're incredible, tough, all of it. They have timeouts. They have stoppages left, right, and centre. It's really important to keep that crowd entertained when you are stopping literally every minute or 2 minutes or even more.
You know what happens in a
frequently.
timeout? I might go grab a hot dog and a beer.
Yeah, I'll get a beer. NRL is getting to that point where it's like we cannot lose their attention for any sec, but it is not a game that naturally has that built into it. So that doesn't match. There's no symmetry there whatsoever.
I see the rigs on the guys these days. You watch Penrith and Broncos play, right? There is not a slug amongst them.
Yeah.
They are jacked.
The amount of people that have come up to me this
unreal.
week and said, what was that guy's name with the torn jersey?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Dom Young.
Dom Young, yeah, he's my new favourite player.
They are just in unbelievable shape, right? But just like, what do you see in the F1? The most finely tuned motor cars on the planet. They break down.
They break down.
Because you put them under pressure.
Yep.
You push them to their limits. Their tyres go. The engine goes. They crash at high speed.
Yep.
People who are travelling at 300 kilometres an hour, their reaction time is reduced.
Yeah, well
Our
said.
guys aren't travelling that fast. But when you've got a 110 kilo Nelson, 15 kilo Nelson Asafa Solomona bearing down on you at high speed, your reaction time is reduced. Mm-hmm. And it's, I got to do something or die.
And I see the amount of commentators here this year is, he's just got his head into the wrong position there. Of course he fucking has. He hasn't had time to get his head into the right position.
Tedesco is the Australian fullback. He's been around for 13 years. Poor technique on the kick out tackle, and he's gone skis.
Yep.
Got his head in the wrong spot.
Yep.
Went to do a left shoulder tackle on a right shoulder runaway man, and maybe kick out jinked at the end. I don't know, but he's done.
He's also kick out, jeez.
hard man.
Imagine having him
But
run
the
it.
thing is as well, kick out, let him go a step past you.
Yeah.
If he passes the ball, he passes the ball. You're going. He went low anyway. So if you're going to go low,
Just give him that little.
just give him half a step and then take him around the thighs, And you might fall off. No one's going to... It's kick out.
We're already seeing an era in sport, in contact sport, where the ghosts of the past are coming back to haunt administrators in the form of class action, in the form of huge dispute. Obviously, head injury and concussion is the main source of that. But what does this look like? This is a short-term gain scenario for the NRL. What does it look like 10 years, 15 years down the track?
But is this a short-term game? You just mentioned the NBA and the NFL. In the 70s and early 80s, the NBA had zero viewership. It was a dead sport. Through the Lakers, through Magic versus Bird, through many other factors, they brought it back from the dead. But do we think we're going to get to that NBA, NFL level of sports entertainment?
Well, Bird and Magic were on the court a fair bit. That helped.
A lot, yeah.
They were extremely talented players. And you know what we're blessed with in the NRL?
What's that?
A lot of extremely talented, gifted athletes.
A lot of rivalries as well that we can play on.
You know what though? They need to be on the field. They need to be playing.
This really bothers me, and I just think our showpiece is State of Origin. How many of these guys are going to be missing for State of Origin? How many? Anyway,
it's already depleted.
Okay.
Look, Johnny, really love the work.
Yeah,
Good correspondent, good journalism
Thank
from you.
Didn't reveal my sources at all.
No, and we won't.
I won't. That's the thing. I won't.
Unless you DM us and offer us some sponsorship or something.
There's some money involved.
We'll tell you everything you want to know.
Sell anyone out.
Under the bus. This is on the Grapple podcast. Now, I touched my Yoda head here, so let's talk coaches.
Okay.
Jason Demetrio, he served his apprenticeship under none other than the master.
He was also under Paul Green.
And Paul Green as well. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
But he had a good run in. He's always had the ability. He's got the reins of the Rabbitohs. It hasn't exactly gone to plan. When they've been good, they've been amazing. They have the players. This year, it is absolutely not panning out that way.
I think they've only won 4 of their last 18.
It has the streak going into the end of last year and back into this year is not historic because they've had some streaks in the past, but it's not great. Once the rumours start circling, and let's be honest, they were swirling before a ball was kicked this year.
Nothing leaks quite like rugby league.
100%.
I've just got leaks.
As a coach, when those rumours are on, are you going to seek? Are you writing a new cover letter? Like
you've got a manager, so you're talking to your manager.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to find out if these rumours are true. Now, they probably are. If this kind of thing comes out, it hasn't just been thought up. And it may not be as far down the track as everyone thinks, but there's some smoke where that fire is, right? Well, there's some fire where that smoke is, so to speak. Jason Demetrio has won a New South Wales Cup with the Illawarra Cutters.
Yes.
He has won a Queensland Cup with the Northern Pride. They won the National Cup when he was with the Pride. He's, as you said, he's been under Wayne, he's been under Greenie. He's done the rounds. It was his time. Did he get given a shit sandwich? And I love Uncle Wayne. He's on a pedestal for me. But name a club he's gone to, left, and that succeeded immediately. Now, a lot of people think, Wayne leads clubs in a shit state. I don't think that's the case. I think you're trying to follow the greatest.
Exactly.
Now, maybe he left Newcastle in a way that was, and a lot of people, and a lot of Novocastrians don't like Wayne for the state he left Newcastle in, and I accept their argument. That wasn't great.
Yeah.
All right?
Look, the Wayne and Tinkler combination, let's be honest.
Yeah. I don't think that, I think it wasn't all Wayne, but I take it. But you look at people coming in after him, he won a comp at the Dragons, he took the Broncos to another grand final but lost it.
Knights got to a prelim as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and these guys, the Rabbitohs, went to a grand final.
Went to a grand final, yeah.
You're coming in after the greatest coach. It's like trying to be the Knights number 7 after Andrew Johns. Maybe build a list of the Knights number 7s since Joey retired in 2007. It would be the longest list of any skill or halfback position in the comp. You can't come in and just be that.
Almost as long as the list of spinners between Warne and Lyon,
There
to
you
be
go.
honest.
There you go. Exactly.
When you have a roster that has the likes of Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, Damien Cook, the list goes on, do you need a coach with more stature? Do you need a coach that comes to the club with 300 games behind them?
Potentially. Yeah. I think Cody and Latrell like to run their own show. So I think if the coach maybe doesn't have that stature in the game, they are going to run their own show. And they might even be saying stuff like, oh, no, we'll take it from here. That's not how we do things. They're not going to say that to Wayne. No one's going to say
Of course
it.
they're not.
But Cook has been dropped. Now, we had a segment last week. We didn't get a chance to get to it. We spoke about the effort plays of Tommy Dearden. We didn't speak about the non-effort.
Yeah.
The non-effort I was going to bring up was when the Rabbitohs beat the Dogs. There was a point in play where the ball's on the ground and Cook just looked at it. And I went,
Yep.
something's wrong. And
I thought he was injured. I thought there was something wrong.
They beat the Dogs, so that was their win, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of things like that get glossed over when you win. But I thought, Cookie, you should be diving on that. And he's that kind of player who does dive on it. So that's why I thought, oh no, despite this win, there is something fractured within that club. To be honest, that club has a lot of decision makers. Russell Crowe comes in and makes decisions. He comes in and says things. So I don't know. It's a tough situation. If you're JD, if the players want you gone, you walk straight away. You say, okay, no worries. If I'm not doing the right thing, he's got a 9-month payout clause in his contract, right? But if the players want you there, you don't walk, because that's just walking out on the players. If this is all external to the playing group, it's the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't walk out on your players. You don't.
Of course not.
And if you're the coach, that guy walked out on us, you just don't do that.
Well, you're dead to everyone, not just the club, but probably every other club as well, because you're that guy that does that.
You
But
know what? You talked about redemption in rugby league. Seabold's got Manly firing.
That's a good point.
Timmy Sheens came back from
point.
the Cowboys and won a comp with the Tigers.
yeah,
So
yeah, no, look, well, fair point. What I do want to say, going back to the stature debate, an immortal who, let's be honest, at club level, between 97 and 01, had a 53%
Limited success.
record with the Raiders, with a team of a generational talent, like once in a lifetime, once in 2 lifetimes in some cases, was untouchable. When you have a roster like Souths that has a couple of those calibre players, let's be honest, they're up there. Is a Mal Meninga the sort of bloke that commands that respect? Because Mal has just this very day, within the last few hours, said, you know what? We want to see the South Sydney Rabbitohs firing. I feel sorry for the coach. I know they're keen on it. A lot of it's through the media. Of course it is. Everything is. I can't speak factually on it right now, but we all know Jason's under the pump. If it is factual, let's get on with it. Let's make those decisions, says Big Mel.
Jeez. Well, is that an admission that, I'm coming in? So
That's a pretty decent...
So win, lose, or draw, does that kind of feel like it's it or not? Am I reading too much into that?
If you're making a quote like that, he said this on radio. He didn't say it on a podcast. That's an important distinction.
It is,
I think,
absolutely,
to make. He
because
said it on radio.
shit gets talked on podcasts.
Yeah, what are you talking about? He said it on radio. Yeah. I don't think he's commenting at all if there's not something serious happening.
Wouldn't you just shoot it down?
Yes.
Say-
I wish him all the best.
Yeah, look, South Sydney are great. Wish them all the best. JD's a great coach.
He didn't say that, though.
Is Mal the guy to come in there and do it? He could come in there and do it. Is he a guy to do it for the next, 20, how many rounds? 27 rounds? Is he a guy to do it for the next 20-odd weeks?
20-odd, yeah. Ben Hornby. Let's not forget Hornby.
I have no mail on whether he's the goods or not. He's an assistant coach, great. You've got to be good at something. I have no mail on whether he's the man to be the tactician. I don't think Mal gets pushed around. I don't think he takes shit. I think he'd happily drop someone, as in JD's drop Cookie.
Yep.
Was Cookie the right man to drop? I don't know.
It's a big play. It's setting a big example. But look, I just think it's an interesting direction potentially. But the Rabbitohs, I think that is 100% their logic in this. Someone of that magnitude, of that stature, to come in. We have the cattle, and a lot of people. I love Mal. He's amazing. He's an immortal for
Mal.
a reason. He's Mal. A lot of the raps over the Queensland era, and this is fair enough, is that he had a team that he literally just had to say, boys, let's just get out there and do what we do. Because look at the team he had.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's a terrible coach. I'm just saying, like,
But I'll tell you this. I know for a fact there are guys on that team who are potential future immortals that
Yeah.
Mal pulled into line.
because he can, because he's got
Because
that
he's
stature.
Mal.
But he's not sitting there going, look, Cameron, I love your idea there, but what we should be doing here on this short
No,
side,
he's
I
like,
don't think he's doing
He's
that.
like, Cameron, what do you think about their forward pack? How do you think we get around? And
Yeah.
he goes, this is how we do it. And Mal's going, excellent. Everyone listen to Cameron.
Yep.
But they reckon in that Queensland group, when Mal spoke, they reckon you'd hear a pin drop.
100%.
They just had that fucking respect for it.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to translate to Clubland because this is, you're wearing the jersey. It's maroon. Man.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe if it's the same in Kangaroo Camp, then great. I feel for Jason Demetrio. I do. And what does this mean for whoever's going to take over the Dolphins?
Oh.
I mean, maybe Wayne doesn't get them to a prelim or a grand final, and maybe that's it. Maybe just Wayne sets them up really, really well as a new team, and the new coach comes in and coasts that wave of success. But geez, you don't want. Wayne's got a really good way, from what I heard, of pulling people into line, like your dad. You know how your dad would grab you by the ear with this hand, but then that arm's coming around you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So your ear going, what the fuck are you doing? But I love you.
Well, the Dolphins, it's another Wayne apprentice situation potentially
Wolfie.
there as well with Christian Wolf, who I think is a fantastic coach.
Yeah. Really good boxer too, Wolfie. Do you know that?
I did. Yeah, just an athlete.
Very, very good boxer.
I remember him at the Blackhawks years ago.
Yeah.
Hardest working guy in the game at that level. And that's, great level to be at. He used to work in a little demountable out the back of Dairy Farmers, as you'd well know.
The poor old Black
Never
Hawk.
stopped.
Poor old Black Hawks. Money to burn.
Money. Didn't they just?
Love you, Black Hawks.
Absolutely. Anyway, one to watch now. The Broncos and Dolphins are igniting the battle for Brisbane, and a very depleted battle for Brisbane it might be. Reece Walsh coming back, though. That gives it that little bit of...
Do you know it takes 6 weeks for bone to heal?
Yeah, another one I want to ask you about, because I know that, you want your best players and you're missing a couple of players.
If he's ready, he's ready, right? They're not going to fuck with him at this time of the year. If he's ready, he's ready. But, I mean, a facial fracture, is he going to be diving headfirst for a ball? He probably will. He's young.
Well, he's pretty
young and a little bit silly.
He's a bit fearless too.
If
He's
it was
proven
me,
that.
I'd be like, ah. But great that he's back. I think I've seen him wear a headgear with a bit of a, remember the pearl?
He borrowed it off Russell Crowe.
Remember oh yeah.
It's from that scene we did in the Coliseum. Yeah. Which one, Russell? There were a lot of scenes.
army.
Yeah.
I served with you in Germania, sir.
Father to a murdered son. The ice makes the blade stick.
Praetorian.
You knew Marcus Aurelius. Anyway.
I did not say I knew him. I said I met him once.
This game, I love how the Dolphins have been going.
Broncos are going to put 30 on.
I always tip the Broncos.
They're going to put 30 on.
It's like, I'm like Bart Simpson. If you play paper, scissors, rock, good old Joel, he'll always
Yeah.
pick Broncos.
I think the Dolphins are more depleted. No Flegg, no Kafusi, no Farnworth. Their halves are still an issue, although I love Katoa.
Katoa's
He's gonna be a
amazing,
player.
mate. They need
But
someone to go
But they
with
don't
him.
have a good six.
Yeah.
Hammer's playing out of his skin. I just think they don't have the depth that a lot of these other clubs have. You get 2 or 3 guys down, all of a sudden that team's just got warts on it.
You made the point last week about Cody Nikorima, who I have always
He's a
thought is
14.
a brilliant player. Played like a 14. Played like a really good 14 against the Tigers, sniffing it out.
Yeah, scored that try.
Scored
for
a
kick.
great try. Try for kick.
Yeah. What a shock.
What a shock.
Fucking try.
I loved it. But, really good 14. That is a big goal for them. I'm going to say it's going to be a big one.
I think Broncos by double digits. Absolutely.
Des Hasler.
Desi.
Under the pump. Now, we've seen some sprays from Des. We've seen him throw a door off its
He broke a
hinges.
door.
That's one of the... I love that. I love that when you watch that clip, Jamie Lyon sitting there just goes,
Ooh.
"Ooh, Jesus, that's a door."
Door back up.
So, look, he's got a temper on him. But I love this because he blew up, that just absolutely tore them to shreds early. They're having an awful year.
It's,
Doesn't look like it's going anywhere better.
You know what they're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day?
Shit sandwiches.
Shit sandwiches.
And they are smothering them with poo. Let's be honest. It is not a good time to be a a Titan at the moment. It's
It's
just a little bit of
horrible
camel
time.
crap with a little bit of manure and fertilizer on top,
if
please.
Benny Hunt is allegedly going to be granted a release if the Dragons sign Schuster, which is another just...
This is interesting,
Who
Dale.
knows, right? So is Benny Hunt thinking I'm going to the Titans or is he going to go to the Dolphins?
He's surely going to the Dolphins.
If he goes to the Dolphins, play 7, Katoa goes to 6.
Look out.
Hello.
Yeah, you have a unit all of a sudden.
He probably won't get $1 million. He probably will.
Well, they've got it. They've got the cash.
it. Yeah, they've probably got the cap room.
Yeah. What's I probably don't know exactly. But Hammer, what's he on? Because he'd be up there.
He'd be on. You'd
Probably-
think fullback money.
Yeah,
800.
about 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Worth every penny.
I reckon they've got it to
But,
make a play for Ben Hunt.
Yeah.
St George would have to pay a quota of it too,
I
wouldn't
doubt it. So this Manly deal with Schuster is widely regarded as the worst contract anyone has ever written ever in the history of sport in its entirety between BC.
All sport. We're going back to ancient Greece.
There's never been a worse contract. There actually has in baseball. There's been some ball terrors in baseball. Guys
right.
getting paid $1 million a year 20 years after they retired. There are some ball tearing.
that's great.
And I think Bradley Clyde, his Super League deal was a absolute cracker for him.
Worth every penny.
But the Schuster, 100%. Should have paid double for him. But the Schuster deal, unfortunately, because he's just not playing NRL football. I'm not saying he's not a good footballer. I'm not saying he's not a talented footballer. There were questions asked about his commitment to preparation, i.e. training and diet, etc., etc. I want the guy to do well. He's as skillful as all get out. The game needs guys like him. If we didn't have 6 extra tackles per game, guys like Schuster would be fucking thriving.
Mate, he'd be all over
If there
it.
was no 6 again and no 7 tackle sets, Schuster would probably thrive.
No, but we're getting more football, more for the fans.
But they're saying that Schuster's going to be granted an immediate release to look elsewhere. What's that, Josh? You want to look elsewhere for your $800,000 a year contract and you're playing reserve grade? Gee, let me think. Yes.
Yeah.
And Flano, who's assistant at Manly, knows him, said, we're going to look at him. Apparently. But they need to get rid of someone to have that cap space this year. It's not going to be Lomax.
Has there
He's
been
next year.
a 3-month period since Ben Hunt has been at the Dragons where we haven't been speculating about him wanting out of
Can
the
I
Dragons?
say something about Ben Hunt?
Please do.
He's not the best player in the game. He's one of my favourite
Oh,
players.
I love him. Absolutely.
I really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
him. I really do. He's a tenacious little bugger. He's got a vast array of skills.
Yep.
He doesn't look like an asshole. I don't know him, but I'm sure he's a reasonable dude.
He could field at first slip too. He's got the hand-eye. He's got the reflexes of a cat. The speed of a mongoose.
He's saying he's a good catcher.
I think he's caught a few balls, except for one that I wish you wouldn't bring up. Ever since then, he's caught some great balls.
But I love Ben Hunt. I think he's a great player, and he's another Cherry Evans. He's just getting that little bit better as he gets
is.
older, bit smarter, bit craftier.
Love him at Origin level.
Love him at
That's
Origin.
the catch. That's to be fair.
That's
That was
kind
the
of it.
catch I
That's
was
it.
thinking of.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking about the kick, the
that
Cleary
catch.
kick
Yeah.
that he took.
Not the one
Then you had to
bobbled
bring up
against the
fucking
Cowboys.
2015.
But look, that's an interesting state of affairs. The conversation was about the Titans. Titans, as I said, they have spiders on them at the
Is
moment.
Des going to get like this whole? I love because Gus Gould came out about that spray and said, "Mate, you only get one of those a year. You've shot it off pretty early."
Well, they're none from 5 or none from 4.
If not now, Gus, when?
You know, you can't do it in round 17 when you're coming 14th and no chance of making the 8.
Clinton Shivkovsky said on ABC Grandstand that he's a 3-year deal, at least 6 to 8 months before his processes, his structures
Well,
start to
they've got
take
to
shape.
give him that time. You can't bring in a coach like Des and then after a month of the season fuck him off.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You just don't do that. And you know what? You don't do that to Des. He's won 2 premierships, maybe 1. 2, yeah.
He's been in a handful.
He's won 2 and lost another couple more. He's a successful coach. Premiership winning coaches don't grow on trees. Like premiership winning halfbacks, they don't grow on trees.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've just Googled it quickly.
Google what?
2
Whether they grow on
premierships.
trees.
No, I got
Yeah.
I've got that page
so
open.
2011 and 2008.
separately. Coach trees.
The coach
They
trees.
sell them at Bunnings now.
Yeah, so 2011 they beat the Wires.
Yes.
In 2008 they beat Manly by 40 because
40 points.
Yeah, Beaver's last game.
Remember, no Cameron Smith.
No Cameron Smith.
Yeah. Okay, Johnny, tips. Let's do
All
it.
right, let's do them.
So-
Knights Roosters.
In
This is actually a
Newcastle.
tougher one than you think.
It's tougher after last week. I think Roosters. I'm going to get into bounce back.
Yeah, I'm going Roosters as well.
Okay, very, very good. So we're aligned on that. What about the Storm and the Doggers?
Sorry, the Broncos. Oh, Storm and the Doggies. Storm.
Yep.
Yep.
Broncos over the Dolphins.
Can I give you my theory on tipping?
Yep.
No matter what you're doing, always tip the Storm. You're going to win more times than you lose.
Yep.
It's always tip Melbourne.
Moneyball.
It's money. It is.
Bit of Moneyball.
When it comes to the Storm and a tipping comp, they are Moneyball. Just tip them, tip them, tip them.
I'm feeling good about this week's tips because I got my Yoda here.
Broncos, we're both going to take the Broncos.
Storm. Okay, Warriors and Manly in Auckland. Manly, what a win. What a win last week. I'm going to say they're going to go over and upset them.
Good. I'm taking the Wars.
Okay, very
So
good.
I'm going to write this down. Wars.
Seagulls I have.
And then Seagulls for you. Yep. What's next?
Parramatta and the Cowboys in Western Sydney.
Cowboys.
Cowboys? Yeah, I like the Cowboys.
Cows. Yep.
Rabbitohs and Sharks. It doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter.
It's the Sharks.
Yep. Tigers and Dragons.
Another tough one. I think the Tigers are a more resilient team at the moment. Where's it at?
It's in Campbelltown.
Tigers.
All right. I'm going to go point of difference there. I reckon the Dragons
Okay. Yep.
come out in that one. Raiders and Titans.
Raiders will put 50 on them. I mean,
In Canberra.
That's a tough road trip at the best of times.
is.
I played there the week after the snow game.
Oh,
Or the
Canberra
week
versus
before.
Tigers.
I think the week before the snow game we played there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was, and I can remember going to warm up, coming back into the dressing room, going, I don't want to go into the field.
Yeah.
It was sleety and rainy, and those fields like Canberra and Auckland at night, no matter how hard the lights are on, everywhere looks dark. In the middle of winter, it just looks dark.
Were you with was it Cowboys or Storm?
Cowboys, yeah.
Cowboys player John Manning has called an impromptu press conference on the sideline. John, what is it? Yeah, g'day guys. I'd like to announce my immediate retirement from all forms of rugby league. It's fucking freezing out here, and I want to go home.
Pretty much.
All right.
And it's just dark. Even my memories of being on the field, like getting palmed off by Ali Lautiti.
Oh, not Ali.
Who was like, literally, he was Michael Jordan, man. That guy was
Yeah,
unstoppable.
what an athlete.
The memory's dark.
You still got that palm print somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere, yeah.
Penrith have the bye, so we'll go for them. Let's see how we go next week. Johnny
All right.
Manning, well done on collating the data this week.
I thought a bit more of an informative episode today, but I liked it.
Well, sometimes we just have to deal with the facts.
Knuckle down and crunch some data.
It's more football for the fans.
God,
more football.
I'm hoping I never have to speak about that again, but I will because it's like my bugbear at the moment. It's like the obstruction rule and the stripping the ball rule. Oh, God.
I've been to a lot of shit sandwich style presentations where they try to make reasonable data look Hollywood. No. If I'm receiving this text message,
I'm not buying it, Andrew.
No, if I'm a stakeholder that's making money out of the game, I'll be like, sure, I'll deal with it, but I'm not buying it. Yeah. It doesn't work at all.
You know what you've done?
Scored a try off a kick.
You've said stakeholder and made me hungry. Because I
go
want to
eat.
be holding a steak.
All right, Grapple Podcast, like, share, subscribe, tell everyone you know.
Everyone!
Every single person you know.
11 a.m. on ABC Radio Saturdays, Queensland, you and me.
The Saturday Draft.
Saturday Draft, coming at you from all angles here.
And before you know it, we'll start plugging the Grapple there as well.
There's no escape.
Wonder what the bosses will think.
It is inevitable.
We are inevitable. Go and give us a hug.
Let's hug it out.